first and foremost, proud of our team to get the win. I thought it took us about 16 minutes to get into the rhythm of the game, to get the exams out and not having competition for a week. I thought we defended well throughout, but in the first half, especially the first 16 minutes, we were not as good offensively. We were able to make a push there in the last 3 minutes and 30 seconds to extend the lead to 16. Then I thought we did a much better job of finding a rhythm offensively in the second half. And we did as good a job defensively. These two guys up here with me were terrific. Ish's defense, getting steals, rebounding the basketball, getting to the basket, and making plays. And then Jalen to have 6 assists against this pressure with no turnovers, and just played an outstanding floor game. I'm also really proud of Zach Alston and Federico, because they didn't play as well in the first half, tried to challenge them at halftime. And I thought both of them played with so much force. That's required, to be good players. And they're both really good players, and we need them. And they were terrific in the second half. So proud of this win. It's great to be done with exams in this period. We'll learn about this. We'll watch it. We'll come back on Monday, and we'll get ready for a really good team coming in here on Wednesday.
For both of you guys, were you expecting this team to kind of have that on-ball pressure that they showed? And, how did you kind of find success in the second half to beat it?
Yeah, going into this game, we watched film. We knew how they played defensively, the pressure they were going to put on us. But we were ready for it. We expected it, and I think with our group of guards, we know how to handle pressure pretty well, and I think we did a good job of that tonight.
Ish, obviously today is the first day of the new starting lineup, and with finals week, how much time did you guys have to implement that new starting five, and did you feel there were any kinks, or did you guys feel like it worked out really well from the jump?
I feel like we have such a versatile group that whoever we start, we're always going to come ready to play. And like Coach said, shout out to Fetty and ZA. Those guys really, he challenged them and they responded to the challenge. And shout out to Will and G Money. They came in ready to go and didn't look back, and they were fearless out there.
Ish, what were you guys kind of talking about during that first half when things weren't going as well offensively? What allowed you to kind of turn things around?
Just to stay poised throughout their pressure. They wanted to make the game chaotic, and like J-Lo said, the guards, us, we did a pretty good job staying composed and making the right play. So we just wanted to make the right play each time down the court.
There was a play in the first half I kind of noticed. It was just like a loose ball, and Blake Hinson was the first one on the floor diving for it. Does that resonate with you guys when your senior leaders diving on the floor for loose balls in a game like this?
No doubt, that's leadership. That's what he embodies. He's going to put himself on the line, and he expects us to put ourselves on the line for everybody else. That's just what Blake is. He's a leader. He shows by example, and that's exactly what he did.
Same question, but with Zach later on. He's a guy who just got benched, and he's thrown himself into the bench to save a loose ball. What's that say about him, and what's that say about kind of the culture you guys have here?
I think it just shows how willing we are to just stick together regardless of the circumstances. It shows that we're a we before I type of team as well. So I think those two things is what that shows.
Jalen, does it feel a little bit easier now that you've gotten some games under your belt in college basketball? Does it feel like things are coming a little bit easier now?
No doubt. Just playing, no matter how much I play, I'm just there to win. I'm here to win. And whatever I can do to impact winning is what I'm going to do, no matter if I'm out there for 1 minute, 30, no matter how much time, I'm there to win, and I'm going to do whatever my team needs me to do.
Ish, Blake has talked a lot this year about Jalen and Bub growing as players, and saying that their potential is still to be seen. How have you seen, especially Jalen, grow as he led you guys with assists today?
I've seen them grow immensely from the first day of our workouts to now. They've been hoopers, but just getting adjusted to the pace, the level of play, they've done a great job, and shout out to them for just being sponges and embracing everything that we give them.
Is there a sense of maturity with, and I guess I'd also like you, do you feel like there's a sense of maturity in how you've handled some of the pressure that teams have tried to put on you guys as younger guards?
Yeah, for sure. It's just what we've been accustomed to our whole lives. As a guard, you tend to grow up and know how to deal with pressure, and that's how good guards are able to make it to the next level.
All right, enjoy this.
you making the change to your starting lineup today?
Well, we made the change in the second half against Canisius, and we were able to come back and win that game, and just stuck with that.
I know you mentioned you wanted to see more from both of them, but what were, I guess, Guillermo and Will doing to kind of push for those jobs?
I just think, we wanted to go just try something different with bigs. So, Guillermo's the only other big that we have. I thought he had done some really good things. He played very well against West Virginia. He gives us a little bit something different, especially offensively, than Fetty does. But we need Fetty, and I was really proud of how he responded. Will played really well defensively against West Virginia. Will is a connector, and he just played with force. Same thing against Canisius, and just wanted to go with that. It was nothing necessarily that those guys did not do. Talking about Zach and Federico was more of just looking at something different.
Yeah, if you guys took just 24 3-pointers in this game, was there an emphasis to say, hey, let's move the ball and get some more scoring inside?
Well, we knew that we could drive and kick, drive and get to the basket. I thought our guys did a really good job of sharing the ball to have 23 assists on 31 made field goals. And we were able to get there, hit guys for lobs, on cuts. We knew that with the way they play, they really contest hard. They fly around. And so we knew we would be able to get second drive opportunities, and we took advantage of that from the 3.5 minute mark, the first half, and for the rest of the game.
Jeff, through 11 games, are you happy with where your front court is right now?
I am. We can be better, but we've shown in spurts, that they're good, and we just need to become consistently good with G, with Federico, with Blake, with Will. Zach can play down there, Jorge at times. I think we have a lot of really good options, and we're going to continue to get better.
When you have such a talent edge on a team like you had today, what kind of takeaways, what do you get from a game like this?
Well, first and foremost, we have not competed in a week. And so to come out and to, really defend the way that we did, to follow a game plan defensively. We knew they were a team that was not a good three-point shooting team. So we really wanted to try to keep them out of our paint. I thought we did a pretty good job of that in the first half. In the second half, when we got a big lead, they were able to drive and we fouled. So we have to be more consistent there. I just thought the effort, especially in the second half, someone in here mentioned Zach diving over, the bench. That was a big play. So to see that, to see Federico respond, to see Guillermo respond, to see guys step up, to see Jalen play as well as he did, to have 6 assists and no turnovers against this pressure. That's what I'll take from it. Obviously, I'll go back and I'll watch the film and be able to gather more, but really just to come back after a week of not playing, of a inconsistent practice week, and to get back to competition, I thought we did some good things.
You pressed your team to finish stronger in the first half. They finished with a 15-2 run here.
Yes.
How have you seen
that? That's another thing, to be able to finish like that, like we did in the first half. That was big because we had not done that. We've not done that since Jacksonville. And so for us to be able to push it and to get a 16-point lead at halftime was huge. And our guys, that's one of the things we talked about in the timeout, was make sure we finish, let's lock in, and we did it defensively. And we were finally able to make some shots.
You've used that word connector to describe Will a couple times. Can you describe a little bit more what that means?
Will's a guy that, he defends. He can defend multiple positions. He talks. He does a really, really good job of talking, which is very, very important, especially defensively. And so that connects the team. That connects the other 4 guys out there. Offensively, he's become a really good cutter. He's a really, really good offensive rebounder. And then to get to a point where he can consistently make open shots, because he'll have them. He made 2 against Canisius. And so just doing that. And so a connector is someone that really understands their role. They make the group that they're in with better. And they do it by connecting everyone. You talk, you defend multiple positions. You switch, you get to the defensive glass, you get to the offensive glass, you move the basketball, you're a spacer, you know when to cut, all of those things. And he's learning how to do that at a really high level.
Guillermo had a pretty balanced effort, 7 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 blocks, and a steal. How have you seen him grow and trying to get different parts of his game awareness?
Yeah, well, he's a talented young kid, and he can do a lot. And we're expecting him to do a lot. And, he's not the strongest guy, although he's gotten stronger, but his length, he's 7 feet tall. When he raises his arms, he's about 7'8". He's getting better at understanding how to talk, be in a stance, to have the stamina to defend the whole possession. Offensively, he can pass it. He can make a shot. He was able to finish today. He can make free throws. And so there's a lot of things that he can do, and we expect him to continue to get better.
He also took a headshot, and he got up from it and came right back in the game with a big offensive tip for you guys. I know probably people would look at how skinny him and his brother are and might think he's not tough, but have you seen a lot more of that toughness?
Yeah, I was excited because he was pissed. Mm-hmm. When I went over to him, it wasn't like he was hurting, but he was pissed, which I loved, and I loved the fact that he came back and kept the ball alive that led to a 3-pointer for us. So, it's showing growth. It's showing toughness can be defined in many different ways. You don't have to be some big, strong, buff dude to be tough. He's tough in his own way, and that play is an example of it.
With Federico, would you say his struggles have kind of been more mental or physical? And do you think that just one solid second half can help him get right back on the track?
I do. He's a good player. We need him. His teammates love him. We love him. He's an unbelievable kid. And so I do think part of it has been mental. He puts a lot of pressure on himself. As a player, when you don't play well. And for guys like Fetty, and I can say this because I was like this as a player, you don't want to disappoint. And sometimes if you feel like you're disappointing, that can pull you deeper into a shell. And he just needs to play. He just needs to let it out and just get after it and be who he is, because he's different from anyone that we have on our team.
Just kind of a two-part question here. I mean, what do you think kind of led to Bub being quiet today, but how encouraging is it that Jalen was able to just come in and hit the ground running?
Bub, I think he didn't make some shots that he normally makes. He took what the defense gave him. He didn't force anything. Obviously, he's a guy that's on the scouting report that's, right after Blake, he's the next guy. I thought he did a good job of letting the game come to him, not forcing anything and things like that. He's not going to, score. He may not score double figures every night, but he can have an impact on the game. He had 7 defensive rebounds, which is huge. He moved the ball, and he did some good stuff for us.